A core memory was unlocked for me today. Upon waking, it instantly hit me this memory. It was of my dad who has since passed away. He would always tell me this story of how when I was a little girl in school, after I would finish my classwork or finish a test, I would get up out of my seat and help the other students in the classroom. He said this used to infuriate the teacher because here I am getting up out of my seat without permission and going over to different students in the classroom, helping them to understand the work and making sure they had the answers to pass. The teacher would call home. She would send notes. And as an adult, when I would visit my dad, he would always tell this story and he was so proud to tell it. Even though I wasn't following the class rules and even though I wasn't listening to the teacher when she said to stay in my seat, this made my dad proud. Not the disobedience, I'm sure, because clearly not listening to authority is not good, but rather he was proud of that helpful characteristic within me. The fact I was willing to put myself on the line, knowing my parents would get a call or a note sent home to help make sure others could win and that others could pass their test and make it to the next level. Recalling this memory reminds me of John chapter 15 and 13. Greater love had no man than this, that a man laid down his life for his friends. Maybe that's why my dad was proud. He saw the risk I was willing to take as a little girl even to ensure others didn't fail and that they understood. Because a friend is someone who would want you to understand. A friend is someone who would want you to get it. A friend is someone who would let you know. Jesus calls us his friends. In John chapter 15, verse 14, he says, "You are my friends if you do whatsoever I command you." Verse 15 says, "Henceforth I call you not servants, for the servant know not what his Lord does, but I have called you friends, for all things that I have heard of my Father, I have made known unto you." The Lord would not have you in the dark about who you are, what you mean to him, and what he's called you to do. He calls you friend. In verse 16, he says, "You have not chosen me, but I have chosen you and ordained you that you should go forth and bring fruit, and that your fruit should remain." John chapter 15 verse 4 says, "As the branch cannot bear fruit of itself, except it abide in the vine, no more can you, except you abide in me. I am the vine, you are the branches. He that abide in me, and I in him, the same bring forth much fruit, for without me you can do nothing." Listen, Watchwoman, it is in him that you live, move, and have your being. Without him, you can do nothing. But because you abide in him and he in you, you're going to produce fruit. You were made to be a producer. And the Lord said that your fruit will remain. You were made to be a producer because there's so much in you that can help others. It reminds me of the parable of talents. The master gave his servants specific amounts of talents. To one he gave 5, to the other he gave 2, and to the last he gave 1. The servant with the 5 talents went out and flipped his talents, making 5 more. And the servant with the 2 talents, he did the same, making 2 more. And lastly, the servant with the 1 talent, he hid his. Finally, when the master returned, the first 2 servants presented their talents, and that what they'd been given was multiplied. But the last servant, not only did he not multiply anything, he didn't even attempt to use the 1 talent he had been given. Again, I say, you were made to be a producer, and the Lord has given you at least 1 talent to go out into the world and produce. Whether that's singing, dancing, storytelling, cooking, exhorting, encouraging, painting, music, art, he may have even given you multiple talents. Use them to be a producer. Use them to inspire. Use them to tell others of his goodness. Use them to advance his kingdom. Use them to let others know that there's a producer within them too. Do not sit on your talents. Don't sleep on your talents. Do not bury your talent, Watchwoman. The Lord says in John 15 and 2, Every branch in me that bear not fruit, he take it away. And he also says, and every branch that bear fruit, he purge it, that it may bring forth more fruit. So even in being a producer, you may endure a little purging, but that's so you can be an even greater producer. So don't think it's strange when you endure trials of many kinds. He's just working out patience. And Watchwoman, know that in being a producer, you may not always be understood or well received. John 15:19 says, if you were of the world would love his own. But because you are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hated you. The Lord says, remember the word that I said unto you. The servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they would also persecute you. Above all, keep his commandments, that which he commissions you to do, and abide in his love, even as he kept his Father's commandments and abide in his love. Don't stop chasing the greater God has for you. Don't stop using all he's embedded within you. Keep enlightening others. Keep inspiring others. Keep helping others to pass. And Watchwoman, keep being a producer. Until next time, Watchwoman, I'm Reese Wright with the Watchwoman Network.